India's struggle for independence from British rule is deeply rooted in its historical context. For nearly 200 years, from the mid-18th century to the mid-20th century, India was under colonial rule. The British East India Company initially established its presence in India for trade purposes, but gradually expanded its control over the entire subcontinent. This period of British rule, known as the British Raj, had a profound impact on every aspect of Indian society. Under British rule, India experienced economic exploitation, political oppression, and cultural suppression. The British implemented policies that favored their own interests, leading to the exploitation of India's resources and the impoverishment of its people. Indians were denied basic political rights and were subjected to discriminatory laws and regulations. Furthermore, the British introduced social and cultural changes that disrupted traditional Indian practices and values. They imposed their language, education system, and legal framework, which marginalized indigenous languages and knowledge systems. This cultural imposition created a sense of alienation and resentment among the Indian population. As a result, the seeds of discontent were sown, laying the foundation for the Quit India movement. The movement aimed to challenge British dominance and regain India's freedom. It emerged as a response to the long-standing grievances of the Indian people and their desire for self-rule and independence. The Quit India movement did not emerge out of thin air. It was fueled by a series of factors that had been brewing in India for years. One of the key factors was the economic exploitation by the British. The British Raj implemented policies that favored their own interests, leading to the impoverishment of the Indian people. India's rich resources were exploited for the benefit of the British Empire, while the Indian population suffered from poverty and deprivation. Another factor was the political oppression faced by Indians under British rule. Indians were denied basic political rights and were subjected to discriminatory laws and regulations. They were treated as second-class citizens in their own land, with no say in the governance of their country. Furthermore, the cultural suppression imposed by the British added to the growing discontent. The British introduced social and cultural changes that disrupted traditional Indian practices and values. They imposed their language, education system, and legal framework, which marginalized indigenous languages and knowledge systems. This cultural imposition created a sense of alienation and resentment among the Indian population. These factors, along with others such as the denial of civil liberties and the lack of representation in decision-making processes, laid the foundation for the Quit India movement. The movement aimed to address these grievances and fight for the freedom and self-rule of India. It was a culmination of years of frustration and a determination to break free from British dominance. In the midst of India's struggle against British rule, a powerful voice emerged that would ignite the flames of freedom. That voice belonged to Mahatma Gandhi, the father of the nation. Gandhi's stirring speech marked the birth of the Quit India movement, a pivotal moment in India's fight for independence. Gandhi's words resonated with millions of Indians who were tired of living under the oppressive rule of the British Raj. He called upon the people to rise up and demand their rights, urging them to non-violently resist the British occupation. His speech was a rallying cry, inspiring people from all walks of life to join the movement. From students to farmers, from workers to intellectuals, the call for freedom echoed across the nation. Gandhi's message was clear. It was time for India to take control of its own destiny. The Quit India movement became a symbol of unity and determination, as people from different backgrounds came together with a shared goal: to break free from the shackles of colonialism. The birth of the Quit India movement marked a turning point in India's struggle for independence. It galvanized the masses and set in motion a series of events that would ultimately lead to the end of British rule in India. Join us as we delve deeper into the impact and legacy of the Quit India movement and explore how it shaped the future of a nation. The Quit India movement left a lasting impact on India's struggle for independence, shaping the course of history and inspiring future generations. One of the key consequences of the movement was the heightened sense of unity among the Indian people. The call for freedom brought together individuals from all walks of life, transcending barriers of caste, religion, and social status. This unity strengthened the resolve of the Indian population and created a powerful force against British rule. The Quit India movement also had significant economic repercussions. As Indians boycotted British goods and institutions, they demonstrated their determination to break free from colonial control. This economic resistance weakened the British economy and further undermined their authority in India. Furthermore, the Quit India movement played a crucial role in raising international awareness about the Indian struggle for independence. The nonviolent resistance led by Mahatma Gandhi captured the attention of the world and garnered support from various countries. This global recognition put pressure on the British government to address the demands of the Indian people. The legacy of the Quit India movement extends beyond the achievement of independence. It instilled a sense of empowerment and self-belief in the Indian population, proving that nonviolent resistance could bring about meaningful change. The principles of the movement continue to inspire movements for justice and freedom around the world. Join us as we explore further into the impact and legacy of the Quit India movement and discover how it shaped the destiny of a nation.